welcome everyone to the first episode of SASH Talk. I'm your host Travis here, and we're just going to be a podcast, which is a production put on by SASH Bahamas, proud sponsors. Woohoo! Who is the reason of this podcast is to get the voice out there of SASH Bahamas, so people can know exactly what we do, meet the people behind the building, behind the notoriety. And this episode, this series of episodes, we're just going to do introduction behind the team. So our first person, naturally, would be the executive director, Manny Boom, aka Ahmad Roll, aka the guy with the big puff. And he's just going to give us some insight on who he is, where he's coming from, how did he get involved in the organization, where he's taking it, and some of his favorite parts of being in SASH. So I'll let him introduce himself. You now have the floor.
Hi everyone, and thank you all so much for inviting me on the show. Congratulations to the entire SASH Talk team. This is an incredible step into a great direction, and I'm so pleased to be one of the first individuals interviewed on the show.
Yeah, because it's been a long time in the making. Months, I tell you, months. Mm-hmm.
I am Ahmad Roll.
That's what he is.
That's the formal name. That's the LinkedIn name.
LinkedIn.
But socially, everyone knows me as Manny Boom. I am just your dynamic, effervescent individual who's just spreading love and positivity all around the Bahamas and all around the community. I am, typical Bahamian young guy.
Oh, you young? My bad.
Typical Bahamian young guy who's interested in everything fun and beautiful in the world, such as flowers, food, lemonade, wings, liquor.
It sounds like a shopping list for someone, like he trying to.
Sounds like I'm setting up a dating profile. It feels like I'm setting up a dating profile.
That's what it seems
who am I? Like, really? I don't know. But I am just so pleased to be the executive director of SASH Bahamas. I think we have all been working very hard.
Yeah, it's been some time.
I think that I have assembled a phenomenal team, and I think that I've attracted a great following and a huge volunteer base and a lot of loyal individuals. I am loyal to them and they're loyal to me. Woohoo!
Loyal to that paycheck when it coming.
Well, peanuts and popcorn, they never kill nobody.
What the Bible said? You shall not eat on bread alone.
Oh gosh. But yes, I am just so happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of this project. It's incredible, and I think it's a huge vehicle of information that will definitely change the landscape of conversation here in the Bahamas.
Yes, it will. So, just give them a bit, how long you've been with the team, exactly what you do here.
Oh, so in my capacity here at SASH Bahamas, I serve as the executive director because I don't like the whole title of being a president, but it's...
I mean, Go ahead.
It's pretty much just like being a president. I am the one to oversee a lot of things. I keep the separation between service and business to keep everything flowing exactly how they're supposed to flow, even though we're never flowing exactly how we're supposed to flow. But that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in imperfections, and that's the beauty in just being innovative. Because I think once you have such a high-powered, innovative, creative team that pushes things out of the box all the time, it's hard to really wrangle it and put it in true context. So I do my best.
Yeah, that's nice. But no, seriously, he's been doing a phenomenal job as director so far,
Thank you.
He's attracted such a good team, and he's been able to get that team to stick
together
and
work hard.
To keep putting out and keep pushing. That's commendable in anyone who's in that executive league, because a lot of people can attract people, but they can't get them to buy in to what you believe in. And he's done an excellent job of buying us in. I believe he sold us a wonderful dream that some of us are still subscribing to for reasons we do not know why. But
no, I just told y'all to dive in the deep end and see what happens.
Yes. So this has been a wonderful quick introduction. Now we're gonna take a quick break right here, and then when we get back, we're gonna dive right into the details. The Society Against Stigmatization and Hate, known as SASH Bahamas, is a non-profit organization created and ran by an outstanding group of Bahamians
who dedicate their time to enhancing and improving the quality of life for the marginalized, the struggling, and those in need. Civil rights, mental health, character development, physical well-being, sexual health, and peer counseling are just some of the issues we address through our array of programs and seminars, meeting the many needs of those who require help, direction, and structure in their lives. Find out more on how you can donate to or be a part of SASH Bahamas by visiting us at www.sashbahamas.org or visit our office on the second floor of the Malcolm Building, next to the Tourism Police Station. Find us on Facebook at SASH Bahamas or give us a call at 242-323-SASH. That's 242-323-7274. SASH Bahamas, educating, enriching, and empowering.
And we're back from that lovely break, sponsored proudly by SASH Bahamas. Check them out. I think you should do that. So, again, we're back with Maddie. And, this time we're just going to get a little bit more into him, topically, not, directly inside him.
Why not? I think everyone wants to get a little bit inside me,
Child, you may end up with diabetes and high blood pressure. Maybe because he's so sweet and salty.
Oh, thank you. I take that with all the compliments in the world.
So, now we want to know, how did you get involved with SASH Bahamas?
Okay, so in about 2011 was when I first met Victor Rollins, who is the founder of SASH Bahamas. And we were having a conversation at one of the nightclubs where he was doing a condom distribution, and he told me about testing parties and the sorts of different initiatives that SASH Bahamas had going on, and I was very much interested. I was a student at COB studying on criminal justice at the time, and I had just got interested in club activities and wanting to do a little more something with the world. And
you were inspired with the world by going to COB?
No, not at all.
Okay, we just wanted to put that back on there.
I was just inspired myself. So, one of my first steps was to enroll in COB and complete a COB degree.
Okay.
Simply just to check it off the bucket list. So met with Victor, finally met him, and talked about SASH Bahamas and what it was about and everything else. And I told him that I really want to get involved. Just like most gay guys nowadays, whenever they run into one of us and we talk about SASH Bahamas, they always say they want to get involved. But I was actually one of those individuals who pushed him for me to get involved. Because for a long time, a lot of people only associated SASH Bahamas with individuals who were infected by HIV. And I'm one of those individuals who have always been affected by it because I've known many, many people in my life who have had HIV. Mm-hmm. And I realized that, at some point, it takes that influential person, as big or as small as you think you may be, you are an influence to somebody. So I just took that on as, okay, well, I think I need to do my part and make sure that the individuals in my network are taken care of.
The power of one.
Of course. So with that, he invited me to a research focus group that was happening, and that was my first introduction to SASH Bahamas. And during that time, I was able to kind of figure out how the organization worked, who were the key players, exactly what their mission and vision was. And then I said, this is something that I really want to be a part of. And then after that, I just started to be a part of a few more outreach events. I remember volunteering at Regional Testing Day, and I also remember World AIDS Day and helping out with an art show, and then a karaoke fundraiser and fish fry, and that was really, really nice. But then I think when I really understood the whole concept of my place in the whole puzzle that is public health was when I did an outreach at Gambia. And me as an openly gay man who's very flamboyant and very soft, I initially was like, oh, hell no, I'm very intimidated about being in Gambia. But then the people were so receptive, and it was all positive energy. And and that's when I realized that when you are an individual who's helping others, people, and especially when you're doing it from a place of love, people see that and they feel that. And they kind of appreciate and respect what you're doing and who you are. Okay. And that's pretty much how I got involved with SASH.
All right. So we're going to, sieve right into our next question for him. So, he's been the executive director for how long now?
Since 2013, January 2013.
Just about the time I graduated primary school. So, he's been a director for some time. And, you want to know what direction, you're taking the organization. What was the previous purpose and what's the purpose now? Like, under your, it goes without saying, under Victor's direction, it was more focused on HIV prevention and health. Mm-hmm. What's your goal for it? Like, where do you want to take it?
I believe that now is the time for individuals to step out and step into a place of empowerment, a place of community development and building. And at SASH, we want to make sure that people are educated, enriched, and empowered. Woo-hoo. In their everyday life, and then with that, and then almost like a pay it forward kind of thing, Mm-hmm. We come, you come in, we do like a brief intervention, we impart some sort of wisdom into your life, and you take that into the community and you kind of pay it forward. Like, it isn't all about having the greatest amount of volunteers or the greatest amount of people just like flooding our doors, mm-hmm. but I think it's more about creating the biggest impact. Okay. And that's pretty much all that and that's what my vision and my purpose in this organization really is for now, because I understand the whole concept of organizational progression, mm-hmm. and I know that I'm not going to be the president or the executive director for the rest of my life. That just makes no sense. Mm-hmm. This is only a chapter of my life. So
he's not the PLP.
Of course not. So in ending my chapter, I want to make sure that my successor or my successors are equipped with knowing that they can have their own vision, but I would leave mm-hmm. it at a plateau where it's like you can only you can only do better, go bigger.
Okay. So it's like you want to take it to this point, and then you want your successors
take it to the next level.
Don't redo what I did. Step on and just continue to build.
Continue on.
Okay, so that's good. So when most people think of SASH Bahamas, they just think of those people that play with the dildos on HIV awareness days and testing days,
which is fun. We do play with dildos.
Who just give out the condoms or the sick gay people. So So how would you change that perception? Just tell the viewers a bit more. Exactly what we do with more than we know, because there is a.
I think the perception. The sad part about it is the perception comes from individuals who have actually assisted and worked with SASH Bahamas. Mm-hmm. When a lot of them had the opportunity to sit down with me and I asked questions, direct questions, very out of the box. Like, why is it that you perpetuated such a lie and rumor about the organization itself? Mm-hmm. Their response was simply because I was hurt and I had no one to look to.
So they just made up.
So instead of coming back to the organization and saying, well, I have an issue with this person or I have an issue with this protocol, they just in turn went into the community and just, badmouth the whole thing. And then a lot of people create a false sense of who we are based on their own paranoia and insecurities.
Which is why we're doing this
exactly,
podcast
at the end of the day, homophobia is very real. And mm-hmm. the sad part about it is internal homophobia is greater in the Bahamas than actual external homophobia. So guys and females who exhibit homosexual tendencies or whatever, they are the ones who have the most internal paranoia and hatred for themselves, their lifestyle, their community, everyone else who exhibits any sort of stereotype. And here at SASH, we just want to kind of break down those barriers, break through a few glass ceilings, and push our community into greatness. And a lot of times people try to box us in and say, well, you guys work with MSMs or you guys work with the LGBT community and no one else.
Like what they were trying to do with the nether referendum to do.
Yes, when they were trying to pretty much pin us and they were literally like forcing us to say something about it, but we refused. At the end of the day, we are here for the entire Bahamian community, because the LGBT community are individuals who are part of the larger community. You don't go into the polls and you don't check, I am LGBT. You know what I mean? On your bank account, it doesn't say LGBT. Like, we don't get paid in pink money.
Well, if it gives me lower interest rates on loans, then I wouldn't mind that. That's another conversation.
Like we don't get paid in gay money, So it's like, at the end of the day, it makes no sense segregating an already segregated community. It makes no sense marginalizing ourselves within our Bahamian community, because that's not what we're here for. We're here for inclusion. We're here for to just get rid of intolerance.
Intolerance.
Yes. We're here to boost tolerance and get rid of intolerance. And we're pretty much here just to educate individuals on how diversity is truly, truly important in today's society.
Because I believe a lot of it stems from ignorance of not knowing and not understanding. So the key thing to get through that is what I believe is, just properly educating people on exactly what it is, so they don't come on with their own fears and be swayed by other people's opinions of what they think it is. And I believe once they understand, they can, realize that, okay, it's not that bad thing.
Exactly. And, on top of all of that, I think a lot of the issues stem from people not knowing who they are and what they stand for. Like, I urge all of our listeners to just take a moment and see if you can write down, like physically write down who you are. Not what you've achieved in life, but who you are as a person. And what's your character going to be? Like what sort of picture are you going to paint for yourself? And a lot of people will realize that the picture that they paint for themselves is pretty much not the same picture that is perceived by the community.
Yeah, because I think what tends to happen in Bahamian society, mommy say you should do this, your Grammy think you should do that, your church think you should do this. It's all what other people think you should do, and you just sort of fit in that shoe, and you just sort of...
And then all of a sudden you see that there is a strikingly handsome, built, buff man walking around in a very exquisite, overly expensive, non-fashionable suit with, Grammy drawers on.
That escalated very quickly.
Because he has issues. Because he has issues. He has lots of deep-rooted issues that he just don't want to deal with, and it has nothing to do with sexuality. But it has everything to do with himself.
Which is why, a few of the things that happen at SASH is, the seminars, the counseling. So, just expand a bit on that, exactly what we do through like a typical week at SASH.
So our programming has pretty much jumped beyond the regular trainings and seminars and, the boring stuff. Every night at SASH, we try to do something very, very special. Whether it's a meeting or it's a gathering or it's a focus group or it's a fundraising or it's just a simple kickback, chill time social. Monday nights, we try to urge people on risky behaviors with our behavior change program, and also Condomize 242 for those individuals who are interested in being a part of the volunteer troop who do the condom distribution and the sex education throughout the community. And then on Tuesday, we allow our legal aids to come in and help us out with try to figure out what it truly means to be advocates and activists, and also how to understand our fundamental human rights, to know what we can do in society, how we can function. And, that pretty much stems, throughout the whole spectrum of the legal system. Because a lot of Bahamians just are never privy to that sort of information.
Because I go, police pull me over and say, hey, XYZ. I'm like, okay, he's a police. He knows, but then I'll never know if he, pulling my leg or just writing me ticketing him.
And then you would go with some sort of hatred in your heart because you'd be like, the police are unfair, the police are unjust, and not realizing that you were well in your rights to stop it.
And your rights just got stepped over.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday nights is Healthy Lifestyles. We love Healthy Lifestyles. Healthy Lifestyles stems from anything from mental health issues all the way to healthy eating, taking care of your body, boosting your spirituality, even sexual education sometimes, how to be, how to really rock the boat in a very sexual, healthy way.
I think one of the more entertaining episodes, seminars of Healthy Lifestyles was when the PR manager presented on how to poop.
Yes.
the proper way
techniques
to
of pooping.
I was like, what the hell?
That was a very mesmerizing night, and I kid you not, I was when he presented on that, I was the first one to stand up because he asked me to stand up and he simply asked me, please show me how do you poop, and I was like, what?
Everyone was like, what the hell is he talking about? I sit on the bull and no,
Exactly.
you're doing it wrong. I'm like, there's a wrong way. He's like, yes, that's a
That's
wrong
a
way.
wrong way.
So,
But,
it's very entertaining, especially healthy lifestyles.
Uh-huh.
So.
And then Thursday nights. Thursday nights is the night that we use to pretty much experiment with our fundraising schemes.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, initially it started off with Spill the Tea, which is a night for shade and gossip, but it has turned into a creature unto itself, and literally it's like a venting session. Like, could you imagine having Oprah, Iyanla, Wendy Williams,
Ellen,
and all the other talk show hosts who you can talk about your life with just sitting in one room and everyone's just venting? Yeah, that's how Spill the Tea usually is, and it's always exciting. The refreshments are always on point, and we love the crowd that always comes. We also have had special events such as wine tasting night.
Oh yeah, that was, we gotta work on that again. That was great.
That was great. I won the wine. Hello, hi. I won it.
Great.
Fair and square.
Yep.
And then we recently had our chicken and waffles night. It was supposed to be coupled with karaoke, but no one wanted to sing. Everyone wanted to play games. So then that led into game night.
We attract a crowd of sore losers.
Game night is always a very, competition high and like testosterone and
that's like a mini rally.
It's like the night when everyone brings their rule books. And they're like, my rule is the same as your rule, so you have to go with my rule because your rule is cheating.
Yeah, it's very high energy whenever there's game night.
Exactly. And then movie night is like the total opposite. Movie night is the night when we used to pretty much expose the community to films and issues that they would never really sit at home and
think about.
Like, for example, we've watched many movies, and I remember one in particular, Tangerine, which started off as a very ratchet movie very hilarious movie about transgender prostitutes in LA, and then it just escalated into this whole story of what it means to be loyal, what it means to have true friendship in the gay community, what it means to trust your partner, what it means to communicate properly, and outside in the parking lot, we stood around talking for like half an hour about the film, not remembering that it was a ratchet film about transgendered prostitutes on Sunset Boulevard who were pretty much dragging white girls named Becky.
For like blocks and onto a bus, and like nobody stopped to say.
But Becky turned around and Becky's became her friend. So
yeah.
Because that's called loyalty.
And then Ling Ling in a donut. Yeah.
so yes, movie night is one of our special events, and it's so awesome, and it's really a great time. We urge all Bohemian movie producers, and even if you have like a short film or whatever, to shoot us an email and let us put you onto the schedule.
Most definitely.
A lot of times,
exposure
is definitely a big thing, and then sometimes that instant feedback about your film from a lot of critical, I mean critical.
No one's more critical than these set.
Like a very critical audience, and I think that sort of discourse is what's needed to really open the table for some great dialogue.
Yeah. So SASH is a lot more than what people think it is.
Yes.
So the only way will find out is if you actually come on in and chill. So there's a lot more to it. You can just come on and hang in the office. Mm-hmm. We have AC, we have Wi-Fi. What more do you need? So.
And we have work to do. So come on in.
This is true. We can always find something for you to do. So this is pretty much. So we're going to run to another quick break, and then we'll wrap up when we come back from the break.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you have a lot of free time? Want to make new friends? Meet new people? Feeling idle? Well, why not be a SASH Bahamas volunteer? Join us in raising awareness and support for important social issues. Develop your professional network and gain rewarding experiences. Join us in empowering the community. Become a SASH volunteer and be great. Find out more at www.sashbahamas.org. Let's do great things together.
back from that lovely break. Don't you love the voice of that commercial person? One day he will come on the show and he'll let you know he's the voice.
The voice.
So so we're wrapping up now. We're just going to ask Ahmad Mahdi Boom, Executive Director Extraordinaire, what has been some of his favorite SASH moments and achievements this year?
So I think, this year, I don't think that's fair. However, I'll keep it brief though. I will keep it brief.
Okay.
My all-time favorite moment thus far in SASH has been us finally opening an office. That meant that we were, after all these years, like a true force to be reckoned with. Like we have an actual safe space for anyone who ever feels misunderstood or just needs someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So that was a huge accomplishment. And me and Victor Rollins, we both were here during the opening, and we were almost near tears to the point where we refused to even hug or touch each other because of what it truly meant to be standing in here with our logo on the walls and it just being like official. You know what I mean? That to me has been like the all-time moment in my SASH career. Other than that, I feel like I have had lots of great experiences with individuals that I've had to counsel or serve as an arbitrator or mediator in their relationships or even within their own lives. A lot of them just need that moment of intervention. Someone to say, look, I'm listening to you. I care about you, but you need to get your shit together. Because we as a community and we as Bahamians, it's like we have all the tools. We have all of the energy. We have the mindset. We have the heart. And we have the bigotiness to get things in our lives together and not allow things to stress us out. And a lot of times people just need to be given the right tools. Tools like love. Tools like a support system. Tools like, look, you already know what you need to do. You just need somebody else to tell you you're going in the right direction.
Some just need direction.
Just give them direction.
They just need that extra nudge to say, you know what, this is what you need to do. You know what you need to do. Just go and do it.
Exactly. And it's moments like that when I really, what kind of refresh and re-energizes me. I remember when I first came on as the executive director of SASH and my number was first released as the executive director, how many individuals got my number quickly and called me. And I remember coming home from the club and this guy was in front of my yard crying his little eyes out.
That's stalkerish.
Exactly. It was scary. It was scary, of course. But it led me to know that, okay, Maddie, you need to really take it serious.
Because there's a need.
There's a need. And people automatically have connected you with as someone who they can trust and someone who they can confide in.
So you want to come on down if you're feeling whether it be you're depressed or having relationship issues or anything that you feel that you can't comfortably talk to other people about. You can come down to the office and speak to one of our counselors. We don't your information is safe with us. We don't spread it out. A lot of us don't know anybody.
Exactly.
We do have a private room, so you can go directly to the room and then in and out. Counseling session is done, and we do a lot of follow up. So yeah, it's been a good run so far, and it'll be a continued good run for the rest of the year. Yeah, I think that's
it. So please do check out our website, sashbahamas.org, and also our Facebook, SASH Bahamas. And then, or you can just give us a call at 242-323-SASH.
7274. They just couldn't wait to get that number.
Why? No.
They just couldn't wait to get that number.
Trust me, I'm getting that printed on the back of our volunteer shirts. You have to get that printed. It's a long time coming for us to even be so close to have a hotline, because that's like a hotline number.
It is, because people do call. I remember when we first got our first caller in, and that was like a week counseling, like every day on schedule. It
over
was
the phone. Simply because he just didn't want to come in.
Yeah, he just wanted to speak to one particular person who answered the call, and So, do feel free to come on out. Don't be intimidated. We don't bite. It's a safe space. You know, it's a creative space. No, there's no judgment here. You know, because I know sometimes it may happen. Some people might be afraid to come out because they may fear they may be judged. Like, say you go to other organizations who I shall not name, and you know the people just stare at you in the corner,
like,
and they whisper about you, and they be like, "Okay, you clearly don't fit in here, so why are you here?" We don't do that. We don't do that.
Not at all.
Once your hygiene is straight, you know you can come through the doors.
Our hygiene doesn't even have to be straight. We straighten it out for you.
Okay, he'll take care of that. Yeah, he'll personally take care of that. So
so for anyone who's interested in being a volunteer or even coming
member
out and even becoming a member, you know, stepping up to the plate, I just want you to know that one of my favorite quotes ever, and it just always motivates me and energizes me, is by Mother Teresa, and she said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." And I think that is so profound, especially in our world today.
Oh, that sounds very beautiful. Like he Googled that, but you know, that is, and that rings very true. You know, like I always say, success is small things done consistently every day. So you know, come on out and be part of something successful. You know, if you need volunteer hours, you know, we have things which you can do to count towards that. Again, you can be a member, give us support. You don't have to be physically here, but by your contribution of being a member, you help us continue to do what we do for the betterment of everyone else. So yeah, that's pretty much, we're gonna wind up this episode of SASH Talk. Next episode we will have a few more members from the board of directors. That sounds so fancy, you know, the board of directors.
It is fancy.
It is fancy. So we're gonna have a few of them come on and talk about. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying to the end. And we do look forward to meeting at the office one day. And again, see you next episode. Doodles.
Take care.